Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Tonight was another excellent night of boxing. Some really explosive knockout artists fighting on the same card. The lightweight division, or the light heavyweight division, is really starting to look very, very interesting right now. Before I go any further, I want to let you guys know I don't have a whole lot of time to make this video. I may elaborate later on another video if I have more time. But anyway, let me go ahead and get into the fights that took place. Let's start with talking about Sergey. Now, Sergey, he fought against Ismayl Sillakh. Hopefully I said that name right, but you know who I'm talking about. You know, in this fight, it was a typical puncher-banger versus a boxer. And what I mean when I say typical is just like almost all the time, as soon as the fight started, at least the first couple of rounds before it ended, it looked like Sergey was starting to get outboxed. He was getting hit with clean shots and basically making it seem like the fight was going to be very difficult for Sergey. See, these type of fighters is what I call catch-up fighters. They basically start a race very slow, and because they start the race so slow, they always have to end up catching up with their opponents who already starts with a head start. Now, the majority of times, these type of fighters, they're used to starting from behind, and they will normally catch up with their opponents and then take them out. But as competition gets stiffer, you end up giving the wrong person a head start, and then you find out that this guy was already faster than you to start with, so you never catch up with him. Okay, so this is something that Sergey may have to worry about down the line. But for now, he was successful. Now, you got to give credit to Kovalev for having a more impressive knockout over his opponent as opposed to Adonis Stephens. But at the same time, you can give Stephens points when it comes to better opposition because Bellew, he had never been knocked out before. I don't even think he had been knocked down before. All right, and when it comes to Sergey's opponent, Ismayl Sillakh, Sillakh had just came off of his first knockout loss. So obviously that changes a person for better or worse. So anyway, like I said, the Sergey fight, it was typical banger versus brawler. I was not extremely impressed with Sergey's defense, but he obviously makes up for it with his aggression and his power. And unlike a typical banger, Sergey, he has Olympic pedigree. All right. Now let me go ahead and fast forward. Like I said, make this real brief. I want to talk about Adonis Stevenson's performance. Adonis, he looked impressive, but there was one thing that I didn't like with Adonis. What I didn't like is, I told you guys this before in previous videos, when it comes to southpaws, the majority of southpaws, they are very, very focused on landing nothing but the left hand. And if you guys watch that fight, you would constantly see Bellew, he was constantly moving to Stevenson's right. And he would do it, he was doing it the whole night. And I kept saying to myself, why is Stevenson not throwing the right hook? Because Bellew, he was moving right into Stevenson's right hook. And that would also help set up Stevenson's favorite punch, which is his left hand. But he didn't do that too often. He was left hand crazy basically in this fight. And another thing is sometimes Stevenson would get Bellew on the ropes and Stevenson would just throw just the left hand and then he wouldn't finish it up. He would try to keep throwing left hand after left hand and basically just throwing that one left hand. What it basically does is it gives Bellew an opening so he can counter back and throw his own punches. Adonis would throw the left hand, but he would never come back with a right hook. That is the perfect combination for a conventional fighter when you're a southpaw. If you lead with the left hand, you come right back with the right hook, or vice versa. You throw the right hook, you come back with the left hand. But like I said, Adonis, he was more focused on being left hand crazy. So he would just throw one left hand and be done. Then he would start it over. But when he would throw the left hand, he would leave gaps. And like I said just previously, this is when Bellew, he would wait for that gap and he would come back with combinations. But overall, because Adonis's left hand is so impressive, it is so sneaky, it is so quick, and it is so strong that he was still able to get the job done. And it was still overall an impressive performance because the first round, like I said, Bellew, he was moving to the right so much, it looked almost like Adonis wouldn't even be able to get that left hand to land. But, give credit to Adonis. He made some adjustments, and he got that left hand to land damn near whenever he wanted to at will. Okay, and like I said before, Bellew had never been knocked out before. So overall, it was an impressive performance. Adonis, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. He takes a good punch. He has a little slickness to him. He can box. He has a decent defense. Right now, you got to give shots out to Adonis, though, because Adonis, he most likely will become Fighter of the Year. He had 4 magnificent, impressive knockouts, and he continues to impress. He loves to go for the knockout, and he knows how to box. So that's a very good combination. He's a fan favorite, and he's a thinking fighter all at the same time. Like I said, he does have flaws because he needs to put that right hook together with that left hand more often. That'll make him more of a complete fighter. All right, but right now, I can tell you right now, Adonis going against Kovalev, that is a very intriguing fight, and that is definitely the most difficult fight for Adonis Stevenson. That's a 50-50 fight right now, and I think the winner of a fight like that would basically crack the top 10, shit, maybe even the top 5. Very, very intriguing fight. And it also would set up a super, probably pay-per-view type fight against Andre Ward sometime down the road. So those are things to look at right there. And like I said, I'm just making a brief video on this one. So that's pretty much all I got to say on this one, guys. I'm on to the next one.